Hey AV Clubbers, it's time for another True Detective DVR Club, this time for Omega Station, the second season finale. I'm your senior editor, John Tatey, and I'm here with...
Katie Rife, hello.
And our top storyline, it's all over.
It's all over.
It's happened so fast, didn't it? I feel like we just got started with season 2.
That's true. Season 2 was really starting to pick up some steam.
This was just a crackerjack finale. I personally consider it superior to the season 1 finale, which was good, but I felt like had a lot of Matthew McConaughey nattering on and on.
Well, it had a lot of stops and starts, the season 1 finale, whereas this one was just straight through.
Yes, this was a freight train of momentum. And to me, it embodied two of the best things about season 2 True Detective, which is one, a mystery that's on the very edge of legibility, right?
Right. Earlier in the season, I know I complained a lot. I'm like, what is this mystery? I don't know what it's about. But then in the finale, I finally realized, like, oh, it's kind of incidental. It's really
right?
a character thing, and the mystery itself is kind of incidental.
But fun, like the mystery works, right? And it's there for people who want to dig into it and unpack it.
I'm sure you could make a crazy wall with pieces of string connecting different newspaper clippings about
Glenn
it.
Beck style diagram of it. Yeah. The number one thing that the finale did to embody the wonderfulness of the season was this, this tangled mystery. But the number two thing is the characters having nothing left to lose.
Oh yeah,
right? Just the thrill of that.
Right.
And I was amazed how the plot got all our true detectives to the point where they really had no options left.
No, yeah, there was only one way to go. The only way to go is the way that they're already going, and there's nothing they could really do about it at this point. Fate will unfold how fate unfolds.
So elegantly, the conspiracy closed in on them, and it did allow for, which you touched on earlier, these wonderful character moments, which, all of both of the deaths I thought were fantastic, especially Vince Vaughn's Frank dying in the desert.
Oh, see, that was one where I was actually pretty impressed because that could have come off as hokey so easily.
So easily.
But it really worked for me.
Please, Frank, you can let me go. They'll never know.
It's not me. I didn't put you here.
But you can get me out. Please, Frank, I got a family.
It isn't me.
And I have to say, I think Vince Vaughn ended up giving a brilliant performance. And I've praised him all the way along for the sort of enjoyable train wreckness of his performance at times, right? But it ended up working because Vince Vaughn's character really is a guy who, he is a train wreck. The wheels are coming off as he's hurtling down the track, and Vince Vaughn is just frantically trying to keep it together. To me, I think the performance ended up matching the needs of the character to the point that I was so moved by this death in the desert. Like, I was really invested in him by the end. And of course, we have Velcoro and Ani. And here's another case where I did not expect to buy into this romance, which blossomed very late in the season.
Very late.
And I mean, I hesitate to call it a romance because they're not the two most romantic people, but
they're both pretty emotionally damaged.
yeah. They're broken people for sure, but they did make a connection.
Boat leaves at 3.
I'm 40 miles out. Plenty of time.
Oh, hurry anyway.
Tell me, how did you feel about their final moments?
I like when they were sitting on the bed together and she just kind of reaches over and grabs his hand. They don't really have anybody else to turn to at this point. All they have is each other. So they're like, well, might as well. We could be dead tomorrow, so.
I think that's right. I think that this final episode was about what happens when you really have nothing left to lose. This segment is called Can You Say Spinoff? Because we can't get enough of True Detective Season 2. We have a couple of spin-offs in mind, and give us the treatments here, Katie.
Well, first we
Spin-off
have
number 1.
Spinoff number 1 is Woodruff's fiance and mom, and they're just kind of stuck in Vinci, maybe living in the trailer where Woodruff's mom was still living, and that's your more like sassy single mom, making it in the world, kind of like, it would play on Fox maybe.
Or I was thinking maybe Lifetime, maybe a Lifetime original.
Lifetime. Though I pictured it a little bit more sassy.
Well, it would be on 1990s Fox, is what you're saying.
It would be on Fox in the 90s, yes.
My spinoff is also Gal Pals, which is Ani and Vince Vaughn's wife. Sorry, I don't remember her character's name, but Ani and Vince Vaughn's wife just make, and Nails, of course. making trouble down in Venezuela, and with their baby. Now, I think that this baby, who just appeared out of nowhere, and is pretty big, right? So clearly some time has passed.
Right.
So I think that this baby is Velcoro's baby.
I kind of like that interpretation. I think it's romantic almost, that he lives, their connection, however brief, will live on in the form of their child.
But you were surprised when I told you this, so who did you think that baby was?
I think your interpretation depends on how much time you think has passed. I thought it had been like a couple of months and they had straight up like gone to an orphanage or something and been like, hey, do you have any extra babies? I thought they had just like adopted a baby.
Right.
Like, it didn't even occur to me until you said it that it could have been.
Because there's nothing three
Audie's
criminals on the
baby.
run need more than a baby. We might as well just pick up a baby, make this fleeing that much easier, right?
That's what I thought happened.
We're going to move on to our potent quotables. Katie, your potent quotable wasn't even spoken by a human character.
My potent quotable was an error message. Failed to upload voice recording to chadvelcoro@gmail.com on that sad iPhone propped up against the tree.
Just this gratuitous shot, right?
I have expected the Google logo to show up on screen.
We actually emailed Chad Velcoro this morning, and we didn't get anything back, which, come on, HBO, you got to set up something there.
You got to have somebody manage
If you're going to show the email address, anyway, I thought that...
some sort of auto reply or something.
Why did they have to rub it in with that shot of the iPhone at the end? Maybe if he'd updated to iOS 7, it would have gone through. But my potent quotable is Vince Vaughn's wife, Frank's wife, telling him, you can't act for shit.
He had me on the fairy tale for a while, and it was good. And now it's time to go.
You can't act for shit.
Were they going a little meta there? I don't know.
That was an ad lib, maybe.
Yeah, they just kept that in.
Yeah.
Vince Vaughn does not deserve your abuse. I think Vince Vaughn was awesome this season. I just can't get over it. And I will take that to my grave. You will never convince me otherwise. Alas, that brings us to Speculation Corner, our last Speculation Corner of the season. And we're going to speculate on where are the two ladies and Nails going, because they get out of that Venezuelan festival in a real hurry.
Yep.
And where are they taking off to, do you think?
I actually had put some thought into this last night, and I think they should go to Israel.
Israel. And why is that?
They should go to Israel because you're skipping the continent. If they went to Europe, one of the cronies from the Russian gang would spy them eventually. But maybe in Israel, it's a little bit further off the grid, but not so far off the grid that two attractive white ladies that speak English would stick out.
So they'll be able to blend in, you say?
They could blend in, but it's not London. It's not New York.
Yeah, there's no Russians in Israel.
Well,
I'm not sure about your
fatal flaw
plan
in my
here.
plan.
I think they're going to Euro Disney. Because they had this...
There's lots of Russians at Euro Disney too, John.
Fair enough. But look, they've gotten all of this evidence off to presumably the New York Times guy who was mentioned earlier in the episode. And where do you go after completing a great success? You go to Disneyland. But maybe Disneyland's going to be a little too, in LA, so they'll go to the Euro Disney. Maybe Tokyo Disney. All right, well, I guess it's time for us to go to Euro Disneyland too, because this is it. Thank you so much for watching True Detective DVR Club. We have had a ton of fun doing it, and I think it's been an awesome season of True Detective.
I think the last 2 episodes really brought it around for me.
I knew you were going to say that. You came around at the end.
I came around at the end.
Yeah. I was right from the beginning, loving True Detective Season 2 from the get-go, but I'm not going to rub it in like the iPhone shot did. Okay. Thanks for watching. I'm John Cheney for Katie Wright. So long for now.